1 minute, your world is normal. The next, it's gone. A flood, a fire, a crime scene. Your home shattered. Your business shut down. Your life on pause. But in the darkest hour, when chaos knocks at your door, that's when Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County shows up. Not just a company, not just a cleanup crew, but neighbors, parents, coaches, locals who care. Drake and his team aren't just restoring properties. They're restoring peace, restoring dignity, restoring lives. So when your worst day arrives, call the oh no guy who becomes your thank God guy. Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County. Locally owned, nationally known, unshakably trusted. From devastation to restoration. Serve Pro, Northwest Lake County. Looking for a car dealer that actually feels like your hometown? Welcome to City Chevrolet of Grayslake, where the vibe is friendly, the pressure is off, and you'll always be treated like family. Meet Anthony Scala. He's just not the owner. He's a guy that grew up in the car business, worked his way from porter to owner. Anthony believes in people first. That's why City Chevy sponsors your kids' teams, your town events. And matter of fact, this show, they give back every chance they get. Anthony thinks that the experience of buying a car should be fun. No pressure, just honest people who care. Whether you need a new Chevy, a quality used car, or just service you can trust, City Chevy is here for you. Come visit City Chevrolet of Grayslake right off of 120. And thank you for sponsoring our town, our stories, our voice. Let's get after it, Grayslake. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Discovering Grayslake. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate you. We are recording on Center Street here at Bellevue Studios, right across from Emil's. A big shout out to Kristen for letting me record here. So if you guys are looking for any photographing, any photos, she does family portraits, senior portraits, weddings, pretty much anything you guys can think of. She does a wonderful job. She's been a dear friend of mine for a very long time. So, and if your photography needs, call Kristen at Bellevue. Speaking of Kristens, Kristen Hunt.
Kristen.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And you're from Lemon Tree.
Yes.
Okay.
Lemon
And is that
counseling.
Is that your practice?
It is.
Fantastic.
It is. That was a big dream of mine.
Yes. Okay. So let's start this because it doesn't sound like when you first started off, like this wasn't your first career.
No, I wanted to be a teacher when I was growing up.
Really?
Yeah. I have a master's in teaching, and I worked in Lake County, different schools. It just never stuck. You know, it would be like a part-time job or 1-year gig, and and then it'd be me and somebody else to get the position, and someone else kept getting it.
Oh no.
And after 10 years, I finally said, I feel like, did you ever see Cheaper by the Dozen?
Yes.
There's this scene with the kid with the bucket on his head, and he keeps running into the wall. And eventually I had that metaphor in my head, like, this is me. I keep doing the same thing over and over, and it's just not working. So I kind of just let it all to God. Like, where am I supposed to go if this isn't it?
Right.
What's out there for me next,
Okay, that has to be kind of a nerve-wracking decision too, right? If you thought that you wanted to be a teacher for so long, and then you have to kind of pivot, right?
Yeah. Like, why is this not happening? And I think it took me a long time. I will say I really went into a funk after that. I was very, very depressed. And I kind of had this, I think I was waiting for somebody to see it and somebody to kind of rescue me. And I had this moment one day where I realized if it's to be, it's up to me. I have to, even if there was an intervention and 10 people came to my house and said, we see that you're sad, Kristen,
Right.
that nothing really is going to change unless I change. And so that was my aha moment,
Yeah.
And I went to CLC and I did a couple of assessments there, the Myers-Briggs. And I found out, first of all, that my personality is like the least, it's like 1.5% of people have my...
Really?
Yes, which explains a lot, right? It's hard for me, I think, sometimes to be social and establish long-term relationships and things like that. So That was very helpful. And the other piece of it was like an aptitude test, like what would you be good at? And it said teacher, which I thought was like,
yes, I know.
Been there, done that, tried that, and that,
Yeah.
scratch that one off. And then it said psychologist, and which I laughed at because I was in therapy at the time, and I was like, maybe that's why that got picked up. It still was not occurring to me that's where I needed to go. So I tried graphic design at the time. I went back to CLC and I was taking a photography class. And I loved being in school. That was huge. I've always loved school. I've loved learning.
We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano. And Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people.
And it helped get me out of the house. It helped, boost my self-confidence and everything. But in the end, I did not want to be on a computer all day. I knew that for sure. Once we switched over to Photoshop, they lost me. But the other big thing that happened in our family at that time was we lost my brother-in-law. And that was so difficult. And somehow I ended up kind of being like a liaison because he passed away down in Georgia. And there's family down there and family up here, the funeral home, the hospital. It was like a lot to... And I ended up sort of being the hub. And I had this bizarre feeling after, how horrible it was. But what does this mean? I think I might be good at something like this. So I was like, do I work in a funeral home? Where do I go next?
Sure.
Still baffled. And then my husband is 21 years in the Army. He did. And I'm a very strange person because I was there the day he went in and the day he came out, right? Usually a lot of soldiers, they end up with a second or even third wife. And I was the OG. So
awesome.
So at that point, he had been deployed again, and we went to, it's called Strong Bonds, where it's marriage retreats for military personnel, and it's run by a chaplain in Indianapolis. And we were at this hotel, and it was the third day, and I was sitting there reflecting about my brother-in-law, Frankie. We had talked a lot after he died. He had died May, this was June, about the ripple effect of death and how it had affected people across the country. We were really surprised how many people had reached out to my husband and his family. People came from other states to the funeral. It was really impactful and sad, but impactful. And it was like, wow, you realize how one person really can affect so many others. So on that note, I'm in this marriage retreat thinking, gosh, this has been a good weekend. We did a variety of things. We worked as a couple. We worked at a table. We worked as a group. As a full room. And I'm looking around this room thinking, wow, if everybody here takes like one of these nuggets of, that we learned and it saves their marriage, or if they, somebody goes home, they share it with their sister, who shares it with a friend, who shares it with another friend, ripple effect, right? But in a good way. Right. And I thought, that's really cool. And I thought, this guy's such a great teacher, He was funny. We had videos. And that was my moment. If it was a movie, the ceiling would have opened up and the sun would have shone down on my head and the choir would sing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could do this. I could be a therapist, you know? And that was my moment. Wow. And here I was in my 40s and I finally figured out where I was going to go.
Hey, it's never too late to find that purpose and direction, right?
Right.
But it seems like everything you've remained in, they're all a service-based thing, right? Whether I think it's funny that you like to be in school, but you want to be a teacher. So some people just never leave school.
Right.
Which side of the desk you're on, right?
Right.
So how much schooling did you have to do for that? What are you doing now?
This was funny. So my master's in teaching was from Dominican University. Mm-hmm. And I called the university center after this retreat, right? Sorry.
You're fine.
And I said, by any chance, do you have a program with psychology or social work? And, oh, yes. And they said a couple of them. And then they said, in Dominican University. And I'll tell you, my first thought was, no, I'm not giving them another penny. That didn't work out. Bad juju, Right. And then they said, and they have a new military concentration program. And I went right from no to yes. in
funny?
in a second, you know. I was like, I have to do that. And it also, all the struggles that we'd had, you know, being home alone when your husband's deployed is not an easy thing to do. I had a whole new respect for single parents, you know, from all of that experience.
Looking for a place where there's always something happening? Welcome to the Grayslake Village Center. Whether you're planning a family outing, a date night, or a fun night out with friends, the Village Center has something for everyone, year-round. Enjoy a fantastic mix of restaurants, unique retail shops, and exciting events that bring the community together. And just steps away, you'll find Central and Jelliton Parks, home of the library, aquatic center, skate park, senior center, and numerous recreational opportunities. Whew, that's a mouthful. So if you're looking for something to do, come explore, dine, shop, and play right here in the heart of Grayslake. Find out more at grayslakevillagecenter.com. And go check them out on social media and give them a like, give them a follow.
Just having a career not work out, fighting depression to save my own life, all of these things that had felt like almost like a punishment for my whole life, all of a sudden made sense. Like, I had to go through all of this, right? So that I can be a better therapist, because I'm not going to judge people. I'm going to be very understanding and empathetic because I've been through the mud, you know, myself.
Yeah, I forget what I was just listening to, because I listen to a lot of different podcast things, and one of the therapists on there was talking about when these bad things happen or what we think are terrible, you just have to let, that's just part of my story.
Yep.
Right? That's part of your story to get where you're going.
Yeah. And you never know who you're going to come across who needs to hear it. Right?
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a chat earlier today.
Yeah.
Right? There you go.
I know.
My experience touched yours,
yes.
right? And yours touched mine. And it's just one of those things that...
And I'm sure there's somebody listening that didn't find their calling till 40, or somebody that's 30-something and feels like they're confused and don't know where they're going.
How come other people grow up knowing they're going to be a doctor and they become a doctor and that's it? You know, why? That must be so nice.
Right. Well, I'm 53 years old and I still have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
I feel like I'm still on an adventure, too.
It's still part of the process of whatever. No, but it's fun. Okay, so then after you do that, you decide to start your own practice right after that, or did you work somewhere else?
No, it took 10 years.
10 years.
It took 10 years, yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I went back to school. I got my master's, and then it takes 2 more years. I think it took me closer to 3. You have to accumulate a whole bunch of hours and then take a big exam to get we call it the 4-letter, the LCSW, right? Licensed Clinical Social Worker. And then when you have your LCSW, you could hang your own shingle, basically. But I didn't have the money. I didn't have the funds to start up, right? And so there's the big kicker, is that now I've lost both my parents, but the gifts that they left me, I was able to finally do it. And it's been bittersweet, because they're the first people I would have said, come and see, come see what I did. And they'll never see it. Yeah. Well,
I'm sure if they're looking down, they're very proud. And it's funny how those things make everything work, though, right?
Yeah.
How life cycle goes like that.
Yeah. Well, that's how Lemon Tree, the name, too.
Yeah. That was my next question.
Okay. I was struggling, with the idea of, really it boiled down to, it was like the money from my mother's 401k that she worked so hard her life to save. And I was feeling really guilty. How do I go about spending this? Like, it's heavy. Right. And I actually Googled, how do people deal with spending an inheritance? And of course, articles popped up, and one of them said, do something to honor them in some way. And so my parents loved Peter, Paul, and Mary, this folk group. And we went to their concerts, and we would sing in the house a lot. My dad would blast music sometimes, and we just all really enjoyed it. We'd watch the PBS specials. So one of my favorite songs from the album is Lemon Tree.
That's so cool.
So it's honoring Mom and Dad and thanking them for leaving me the funds to make my dream come true.
That's really awesome. Yeah. And leaps of faith to start stuff like that. So
it's terrifying.
How long have you been open?
It'll be a year in March.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, so how did you decide, basically? I know you're considered probably third like there, right? On the other side of...
That's debatable.
Depends who you ask.
If you add, yeah, it depends who you ask. But when I looked up the other businesses in the building, it came up as Grayslake.
Okay, because you're just so everybody knows where you're at. You're near Barbecue Productions, right?
Right upstairs.
Right
yeah.
upstairs.
Yeah, on the left side of that building. Wow. But upstairs, yeah, there's a staircase in the middle of the building.
Okay. Very cool. So, do you like it there?
I do. I actually worked in that building before, too. Yeah.
What were you doing there?
And the other, actually, literally above Barbecue Productions is Camelot Cares, which is a foster care agency. So I got some of my training there.
Really?
Yeah, when I first graduated.
Did not know that at all. I just knew Bonnie's Chic Boutique.
Right.
What a wonderful woman.
I know.
Shout out to you, Bonnie. If
she left right after I moved in. I was so sad.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. And then the Inner Haven girls are over there, too. And then Chris. So there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Cherish, the girls in Cherish, they do my nails. They're
nice.
awesome.
See, I don't know them personally either. But cool. So that spot's almost been a year. So when you start a practice like this, like I think I can think of every other business like how I would start, but I don't know how I would start. Like, how do you get your first clients?
Well, I've been a therapist now for many years in different places.
So they carry over from there.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I had some that followed me 3 different places.
Oh, really? Some people call that stalking. No, but it's nice.
No, it's a good thing.
No, that's good, because going from that. So now, do you have anybody else that works with you, or is it just you there?
I now have 2 full-time staff members,
okay.
And I have 2 interns working for me right now.
Wow, you guys are rocking and rolling.
We are.
I love it.
It's going
So
on.
some of the common things that I hear, and then I want to go over some common questions that you get, because I'm sure people listening have the same. Since COVID, and so I'm going to say the C word. But it seems like a lot of people, when you're looking for a mental health specialist, I've heard it's like a long wait to get in places. It's really hard to find somebody good.
Right.
Somebody in general, but then somebody good is even that much harder.
Right. So
how is your availability and things when people looking to start new?
I do have openings right now. My other 2 staff people are full at the moment. Okay. It's ebbs and flows, so don't get too discouraged. Ask to be put on a wait list would be my advice, because, despite the fact that some people did follow me and stuck, I do work really hard with my clients to find an endpoint. I think some people go to therapy for years and years and years, and it's fine. I would prefer for people to kind of get through their issue and maybe leave for a while and then come back if they need to. Sure. That I think would be ideal.
Yeah, like a maintenance thing, right?
Yes,
just to make sure
I have.
okay.
I have a lot of people on maintenance now. They'll come, like once a month, which is great. I'm looking to hire this year another full-time. I'm hoping to get a new grad therapist, and then if people wanted to just do telework for me, okay, I would be happy to have a couple people doing telework out there as well.
That's really awesome. All right, so I have some questions that I want to know about, like, because you on the other side. I have a lot of friends that see people. Obviously, I think everybody should probably find someone to see at some point, right?
Yes, and if your therapist doesn't have a therapist, there's something wrong. That's true. That's true, because otherwise you never know when someone's going to come in and have a very similar story that's going to trigger something. So you have to have somebody that you can go and talk to about that.
Absolutely. So how do I find somebody that I like, right? Because I've been to different places and I meet people. I'm like, oh, this is never going to work with this person.
And that's true. And I think then sometimes people say, oh, therapy didn't work for me. And that makes me sad because, if you go to a doctor and you don't like their bedside manner, most of us don't just stop getting physicals, right? We keep trying until we find someone that we like. We ask for referrals from friends. And I think that's what it takes, is just persistence and keep looking. You'll find somebody that you can connect with. And that's, I think, 90% of therapy is, can you feel that connection and that someone cares about you?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I was also reading something else about the amount of people that lie to their therapist to get through the sessions because they just want to make it easier. I'm like, well, isn't that counterintuitive to be like? Well,
that's where my personality trait comes in handy, because I'm INFJ, and if you look that up, there's some really interesting. It's intuitive, right? Mm-hmm. I am very intuitive. And where my coworker Andrew, he's very, he's got the verbiage, He knows all the terms where my ADD gets in the way and I forget sometimes. Like, what's the name of that? And he's very, very articulate in the therapy world. I am more a therapist from the gut, where I will say, I'll call people on it. I'll say, I'm feeling, could it be this? Could it be that?
Do they look at you surprised when you...
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I've had a few of those moments where you can tell when you kind of blow someone's mind. They're like,
right.
Yeah, I've had people say, I'm so glad you said it because I never would have said that out loud.
Right. And taking a chance, and you, at the end of the day, are a stranger that they're coming to talk to, and them to have the guts to open up to you is a big deal.
Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services: personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomenlc.com or give them a call, 847-984-0103. Now back to the show.
You mentioned ADD, so
Yes.
With that, you have ADD.
I do.
How has that been a tool for you to help people? Do you consider it a tool?
It is a tool. It is a superpower in some ways, but it's also a hindrance. I think that the ADD is also connected to that intuition part. But I'll be honest that this month I accidentally paid my rent twice.
Wow, and I don't know what I have, but I didn't pay mine. I forgot to. Is it the same thing?
They're equally bad, probably. Yeah. Yeah, it threw things off quite a bit. And sometimes I just have to laugh and go, yep, that's my ADD. At work there, I thought I didn't do it, and I did it again. So, yeah. So I guess I will have to pay less in March now, but
Right.
I'll have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, I think I didn't know I had it until I was actually reading about it, and particularly reading about ADHD in women. And I was like, whoa, this is really sounding familiar, yeah, it was very eerie. And I then took out my DSM, our diagnostic manual, and I made myself a little checklist and was like, whoa, I definitely qualify, I think, for ADD, and took it to a psychiatrist, and he took one look at it and said, oh, you definitely have it. Do you want to try medication? And I was like, I think I'd like to see what life could be like.
Sure.
With medication. So that has been a game changer for me.
Sure.
Absolute game changer.
Yeah, to harness some of that stuff, right? Yeah.
It just quiets, it's the example I give is it's like being in a restaurant all the time. Like that background noise is always going. Like you're always thinking of all different kinds of things, and your mind is always worrying. My dad said my spirit animal is the what are the birds that go really fast?
The hummingbirds?
Yes, the hummingbird. It's like that's your brain, and you're flitting from flower to flower like ideas,
Right.
So, and that's true. So I was reading about it, and I said, yeah, I think this is me. I grew up, oh man, you name it, I lost it. Right? I lost a house key once. My dad was so mad they had to change the locks. I have lost bike keys, mittens, gloves, hats.
Sure.
I'd forget my lunch. I'd walk right past it, And my mom would say, because I always got good grades. Don't ask me how. I don't know. It was my thing, I guess. And she would always say, how can someone that's so smart be so stupid? And it hurt, and I'd be like, I don't know. I'm not trying to do it, Mom. I remember a lot of times she would say, we had to call when we got home back in the day, right? And she was a banker as well. So she would say, oh, there's casserole. Can you put it in the oven at 350? Sure. But then I'd go to the bathroom, and then I'd start my math homework, and she'd come home, and she'd be furious because there was no casserole in the oven. It was still in the fridge. She'd be like, how? You were in the kitchen when you called. How? And I'm like, I don't know.
I hate people that don't have it wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
I resonate with you
You do.
1,000%.
Yeah.
This is the only time that these keys come out of my car because I will lose them.
Oh, I have a hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I wouldn't even make the hook.
you'll laugh. There's an Adam Sandler video out there. He made a song about your phone, your wallet, and your keysies. It used to be so easy. Your phone, your wallet, and your keysies. And then, you have like laptop, passport, wife, kids, and it grows and grows. But I think of that song as I'm leaving my house. Phone, wallet, keys.
I don't know why I haven't heard that song because I love him and
It is
music
hysterical.
like that. That's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, no, but that's so those things. So after when people come to see you that have ADD, at least a little more relatable, right? When
Very
you understand.
relatable. I can identify it sometimes within seconds. Someone will bring in their child, and if the child, I have a weighted turtle that has sequins on it. And if your child is chucking that, tossing that, and petting the sequins the whole time, I automatically I'm like, yeah, this looks like ADHD to me.
Right. I think a lot of people too. So I have obviously we have a lot of friends that have children that are in that age where people are being either diagnosed with it or like, what's wrong with my kid? But I think some people think of that they don't want to get diagnosed with that because it labels them, right?
Yes. And a lot of times when I bring it up, the parent will immediately say, but I'm not medicating my child. And I'm like, that's your right, But here's why I think you should still get them diagnosed. Because you take that diagnosis to school and you get accommodations. And those last through college, and to be able to have a quiet room to take a test can make a huge difference, right? My ACT score went up 3 points from taking it in the summer when they had the windows open and the lawnmower going, which was driving me batty through the whole thing, to in the winter when it was quiet, I went up 3 points.
Yep.
Just for that.
It's amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the earlier you get it too. So my daughter, they didn't want to medicate her at like 5 or 6 years old.
Sure.
And I fought to have it happen. And their preschool or kindergarten teacher, I think she knew she could recognize and do 3 letters of the alphabet. 3 weeks later, she knew all of them, uppercase and lowercase, just giving her the ability to focus.
That's incredible.
Right? Because it's a big deal. But she was running into stuff like not paying attention, but changed everything for her. Without that, I don't know.
Right.
It must be really frustrating to live like that too.
It was.
Yeah. I mean, I live like that every single day.
I still, even with medication, I still make mistakes, but definitely fewer. I can definitely focus longer. I can definitely tell when it's running out, and then I usually turn to coffee to keep me going the rest of the day.
Sure.
I used to wonder in college too. People would drink coffee to stay awake. And I didn't like coffee at the time, so I would drink a Coca-Cola, right? I literally would fall asleep with my face in the book. You did too. And I'd be like, what is wrong with me? Why is caffeine not working?
It does the opposite.
It does the opposite.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, let's shift gears off of ADD because I love it though. But I think that's another advantage to go to you because you understand that. I'm sure it resonates with so many people.
Right. And that I'm not going to push for the medication.
Right.
I think most parents like you, they know. They
you
know
when it's time.
Yep.
If it's a safety thing or if you're stopping them from learning and improving their quality of life, if that's a part of it.
If they're screaming and yelling all the time with a sibling,
sure.
If they are failing in middle school, I think most parents just kind of into it when it's time.
I usually say if you cook something in the microwave and it's beeping for the next 3 hours, you probably have a little something like that. Because the fact that I get it in there and leave it, but then just stays there because I forget about it.
If your kid's been in their room cleaning all day and it's still a mess, that might be a sign.
Exactly. And speaking of kids, I want to, and this goes for adults too.
Yes.
We're talking about like cellular devices, like how much of this in the world that we live in is causing stress, depression, anything. Like it's a real thing, right?
It is. And not only that, but kids are allowed to use them at night, and it's keeping them up. They are watching videos, they are playing games, they are screening through the night, and that's a huge issue. And that's not a judgment. I think I let my kid do that
Sure.
Also, without really realizing how much he was doing it.
Well, and I do it too. And when I do it, it's lazy parenting, right? You know what? Daddy needs to edit this podcast. You want to watch YouTube for a half hour before we go to bed? But that's not doing.
Before bed is fine. It's when they're doing it all night.
Oh, wow.
That's when there's a problem.
I just read an article too about kids' sports and your devices, and how they said how different your child is, whether a basketball court or baseball field, if you give an hour in between, or like what is that timing for their brain to get back to like doing stuff other than doom scrolling through everything.
Right. Well, and I think too, knowing how if your child, if you're like high schooler, takes a medication at 6 o'clock in the morning, but they're not doing their homework, they may need like a 5 milligram, a small dose after school to help them get through that other window. I have several kiddos that have done that, and I think that's genius.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, just a little bump at the end of the day to get you through. Otherwise, it's gone.
Right. The motivation is gone.
Right. I was going to say, this is good. I'm medicating my child so they're great at school, and then they're a train wreck when they get home to me.
That's true. And a lot of parents will say, it's not working. I'm like, well, have you tried it on the weekend? And they're not doing it on the weekends because sometimes there's a shortage.
Right.
And I'm like, you got to try it on the weekend so you can see the difference,
Have you seen, with patients coming in, obviously we're not talking about anybody specific, but with everything going on in the culture that we live in right now, and this distress of whether it's politics or, people are so divided in our country, and we were chatting a little bit about, like, you go on your phone, I mean, it is forced down your throat, which causes anxiety. Have you seen that in the climate that we're in, that changing things? I mean, we've gone through a lot lately.
Absolutely. And COVID across the board, I have seen effects. I've seen delayed toilet training. I have seen, the kids who were in college, who were kind of right in the middle and hadn't made new friends, and then they just come out sad because that's not the college experience that I wanted. I think people who had relationship issues from it during that time, it's across the board. There are issues. I think we all went through it. It was stressful and terrifying.
Yes. And the communication. I have a kid in college now. He's all excited because most of his college classes are online, and he's happy about it.
Ugh.
I'm like, well, what the hell are we paying for? Luckily,
he's at home.
Right, and they're traveling around doing a lot of stuff. But from communication to, like, we've always talked after COVID, even he was getting there, like, when does a young man walk up to a girl and ask her on a date, like face to face anymore? That's
definitely an issue that we need to work on. We need to work on more social settings where we can get these kids together.
Yes.
I say kids. I'm 54, so I'm talking like 20, 30-year-olds,
Sure.
But they need more opportunities to get together. And a lot of the problems I'm hearing, especially from young women, is that the guys that are going on there are lying and saying, I want a relationship, and that's not what they're getting. And it's then where do they go? Right? Where do they go to meet somebody?
Right. So. A bar where they're, or somewhere. It's not the freezer section of the grocery store.
Not anymore. I don't think. That's sad.
I think what an awesome opportunity for young people, whether you're working the job force or dating or whatever they're doing, to have personality and to be outgoing and be able to verbally communicate with people in person.
Right.
You can stand out above everybody. Like, this is the best opportunity ever for young people to come out and join the workforce or just to stand out.
Well, I think sometimes parents are doing their kids a disservice as well by doing too much for them. If your kid's in high school and you're still, especially if you can do it online, and you're setting up their doctor's appointment, like you should at minimum have them sitting next to you so that they can see this is how you set up a doctor's appointment. I think that there's a lot of things that they just don't know how to do. Right. If we wanted to get together with a friend, we had to call them. And, hey, Mrs. Jones, can I speak to your, son or daughter?
Right.
And they just text. They just text everything.
Yeah.
And we need to get them on the phone. Get them on the phone and verbally order a pizza. Get them on the phone and set up a doctor's appointment. Give them that practice so they learn.
Absolutely, because everything can be done over that, and everything is just taken care of.
Yeah,
right?
It's a big difference I've noticed with my interns too. Even now, when I get a new client, will call and leave a message, or they'll use our website to write to me. I call them, like it's just an instinct. I call them. I get their information. I get them in the system. I tell them a little bit about what we're doing. I ask them, tell me a little bit about what's going on that you're calling for services. And the interns email.
Right.
And it takes them much longer to get the client in the system.
And that's assuming that somebody can, get it on paper what they're feeling or something, right?
Well, not so much that. I think they're just trying to get the basics to get them in the system.
Okay.
But
I'm a caller.
Cold. It's
yeah.
It's cold.
Especially in your line of work, too.
Yes.
Like, that's something you really need. Yeah, it's funny to talk to people, and, like, even anybody in a certain age range, they'll send me a text or something, and I call them. And it's, like, weird. I'm like, no, this is the way I communicate the best. And you can tell what people are like.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, my own son, he's 26. He won't answer his phone, ever. He never, ever...
Right.
And I can text him, and he might answer me back, Yeah.
But that's the way it is, right?
It is. It's so much harder.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this time of the show, so have you listened to any podcasts? Have you listened to anything? I think you said you listened a few.
Yeah.
All right, so I love when people say no. They've listened to nothing, actually. So usually at this time, what we do is we do a little thing called the Grayslake Hot Seat. Is that okay with you?
Sure, I guess. I'm probably not going to know anything.
No, these are just about you. So just to get to know you a little bit better. So there's some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
And then you are forced to answer them, or you're kicked out of here.
The Grayslake Hot Seat is brought to you by Joe Velez at JPV Financial. It's often said that those who fail to plan are planning to fail. Joe Velez and his team at JPV Financial create unique financial plans that address some of the most difficult challenges that people might face as they get older. No matter what stage of life you're in, having a proactive financial plan can help navigate some of the difficult decisions you'll face, helping you live your life by design, not default. Securities and investment advisory service offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Now for the Grayslake Hot Seat. Hey, thanks, Joe.
When you first meet someone,
yes,
how does someone impress you?
I think eye contact is a big one, and just sharing. Not oversharing, but just sharing.
Right. If your life was a story up until now, what would the title be? You can't take mine because I usually say shit show.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, can I swear on the show? I don't know.
You can do whatever you like.
Oh, gosh. Overcoming.
I like that.
I've had to overcome a lot.
What's the last thing you searched on Google? Do you remember?
Oh, gosh, I'd have to look at my phone.
It's okay.
ADD.
Well, probably, yeah, right.
I don't even know.
Do you
probably something about clothes and fashion. I've been trying to, put my wardrobe together better.
Nice. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Are you street smarts or book smarts?
Book.
Book? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But I'm learning. You learn as you go.
You do. Yes. If you had to have a superpower, you only pick one, what would it be?
I would want to hear people's thoughts.
Okay, that'd make your job a lot easier.
It really would.
You'd know when they're lying anyway. That's really funny. What was your first car?
An Oldsmobile Omega, 1988, pea green, and the ceiling brushed my hair.
She said the hand swoop too.
The canvas was it was like $600.
That's really cool. You know what I love about the first car question is they pause at everything. Everybody knows exactly what their first car was. It's like a first car syndrome. If we could only remember everything like that, right?
Yeah.
Would the 12-year-old version of yourself think you're cool?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they'd be shocked. You're not a teacher?
Right. Oh, I have stories for you, honey. Right.
What happened?
Do you have a nickname?
Red.
Red. Tell me something you wish you learned sooner in life.
That not everybody has empathy.
Oof. That's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought about it that way, but that's a very, very, if you learn
or
that.
if they have it, it's very, very little.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Did you play a sport or in a club or anything in high school?
I was in French club. I swam, and I was a lifeguard throughout high school, college years.
Awesome. Now, where did you grow up?
Libertyville.
Oh, you're in Libertyville, so you're right here. When you eat tacos, do you tilt your head to the right or to the left?
I guess to the right.
To the right. All right. Favorite vacation you've ever been on?
Bermuda.
Bermuda?
Yeah, it was our honeymoon. We went to Bermuda for our honeymoon.
That's awesome. Very nice. Pool or ocean?
Pool.
Sunrise.
To swim.
To swim.
But I love visiting the ocean. I love going to the beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it because it makes me feel small. Have you ever won an award?
I played the violin in school, and
Okay.
I got some medals for that.
That's cool. Because my next one is, do you have a hidden talent?
I don't play anymore. That's sad. I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Any desire to do that again if you picked it up and do it?
I
It's
tried
kinda fun.
once. I borrowed somebody's once, and oh my gosh, it was awful.
Really? Well, hey.
Yeah.
You know, at least you tried it again,
Yeah.
so that's a good thing. Have you ever met a celebrity?
Mandy Patinkin.
Is it bad?
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. That's Mandy Patinkin.
Awesome.
Yes, I
How did
met
that
him.
happen?
I was at his concert. He actually invited people to come up on stage and shake his hand.
Really?
And my mother and I went. Yeah, I'm actually going to go to my third Mandy Patinkin concert. He's an excellent singer.
Really?
I'm
no
taking
idea.
my husband because he's never seen him. So, yeah, in like 2 months, we're going to go back to Indianapolis.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Fun.
So
Little tradition
excited.
there.
I'm like such a geek excited. Yeah.
That's all right. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
No.
If you had to do a karaoke song, what would it be?
I Will Survive, maybe.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Or Delta Dawn, like a Helen Reddy.
Love it.
Yeah.
Where was I here? I had one. Oh, so if you and your husband had to have a theme party at your house, what would it be?
Probably something Scottish.
Scottish.
Yeah, I'm Scottish. We go to the Scottish Highland Games every year.
Fun.
Yeah, almost every year. And we're actually getting ready to plan a trip to Scotland too.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
Outlander is one of my favorite book series. I started reading those years before the show came out.
Really?
You know, and I do love the show too. But yeah, Diana Gabaldon. Honestly, I've credited her with saving my life because those books, you know, especially during deployment.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Right.
they just kept my brain occupied.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot of stuff. Like getting
I actually
through
met her too, though. Diana
Really?
Gabaldon. Mm-hmm. I
Holy
went to a book signing.
I bet that was
That
cool.
was so cool.
That is really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've just watched the series. I just didn't read the books, but it's a pretty amazing
The books
stuff.
are better.
Yeah, I'm
They
sure.
really are. They're incredible.
I would never do blank again.
We went through a short sale when the market crashed.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to never have done that or never do that again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
tough.
awful.
Very, very tough, especially because it's one of the biggest things we
But
do.
here's the interesting part of that, because we were in Libertyville before, right? We lost our house or surrendered it, however you want to look at it.
Right.
And then we were in an apartment for a while, and we ended up finding our house up here, which we love. And then both my boys then went to Grayslake North.
Okay.
They're both married now, and they both met their wives at North.
See?
Right?
Right. Right. And if that doesn't happen, then this doesn't happen, then this doesn't happen.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun like that. So you guys live in how long have you lived in Grayslake?
We're technically Third Lake, but
Right.
we've been here since 2014.
Oh, nice. A long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Very cool. I had two more for you because I don't want any infringement on my contracts here. Have you ever eaten a roller dog from a gas station?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
You paused on
It's
that
been
one.
years, but yeah.
Okay. You're one of us. Just so you know, you're one of us.
I'll tell you, my mother gave me a Shell card, and I could only use it for gas. So when I would go back and forth from college, that's where I would use it to buy stuff, and I would go to the Shell station.
Well, yeah, of course you did. That's awesome.
Like, she'll never notice.
No, you got 7 gallons of gas in a roller dog.
Sorry, Mom. I don't think she ever knew I did
you
that.
Got to get through it somehow. 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
Oh.
No.
7.
Really?
Yeah.
Why'd you cringe at 7? I think 7 would be pretty good, right? No?
I don't know. I've got a fender bender out there right now.
We're gonna.
I don't think I've ever hit another car, though. I always hit other stupid stuff, like my garage door. Or.
If you see Kristen driving, I suggest you just stay out of the way. If you're in a car, you're safe, but at any other place, then. Yeah.
Yeah, don't stand next to me.
Yes, or we won't park near you over at your place there.
Oh, I did hit another car, actually. I did.
Oh my God.
I did.
You're so funny.
I did. It was dark, and it was a little Cooper, and
yeah.
so I like it had a black top, and I didn't see it there.
Right.
So I was looking behind me, and I was pulling out, and I.
It's just a little bit.
So embarrassing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to trigger you there.
No.
You're driving.
Yeah.
And finally, tell us about the second time that you were arrested.
Arrested? I've never been arrested.
Okay, I was just checking. We'll see what people divulge after that. I think you should start your therapy sessions out like that. So tell me about the second time that you got arrested.
I actually do ask the question in my intake.
Do
you have a criminal record?
Really?
Yeah.
The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce isn't just networking, it's opportunity. Members get exposure through local events, online directories, and social media, plus access to exclusive resources that help businesses succeed. Make new connections, grow your brand, and be part of the events that bring our town together. Learn more and join today at grayslakechamber.com. The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce, the new wave of business.
I hold a lot of records, just none criminal. I think that's it. Well, thank you for answering those questions. So I want to talk about right now people that need to research you, to find you. Are you on socials, website? Where do people go to follow and check you out?
We are on Instagram now. My interns did that because I am not a tech person at all.
I'm going to get on there right now and make sure I am.
We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, and we have Facebook.
Okay, so is it Lemon Tree?
Lemon Tree Counseling Services.
Oh, I am already following you. Already following you.
There
Okay, that's good. Awesome. So they can go there. So if somebody I need to make an appointment, do they go to
Yeah, there's
website?
a contact page on there, so they can just type it out, their email, their phone number, and what they're looking for, and that will come straight to me.
Awesome. The other question, top questions you get when people write in, I'm sure it's availability, insurance, costs, things like that. So what insurances do you take? Is there a specific thing?
We have several types of Blue Cross. Medicaid, we are still struggling with.
Yeah.
One of the three of us is officially on Meridian, Medicaid, Blue Cross Community Health Plan. It's been a year, and I've had a lot of struggles with that.
Sure.
So we have a contract right now with Meridian, but we're not in network yet. And it's been 3 months. So you can't do anything about it. And sometimes you can't even call somebody. It's very frustrating.
I bet.
But we do have Cigna, or it's Evernorth is Cigna. We have Aetna. We have a couple of smaller ones, Nipon. Meritain is under Aetna, but it's a little bit separate. And we're working on those.
Yeah,
Medicaid.
I'm sure that's got to be a huge headache for all of that. Cause,
I finally hired somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Because when you do what you do, to help people, I mean, you have to be in that 100%. But if you run the place and if 50% of your is being pulled to figure out billing, that must suck. So you have to get somebody to do that to help you, right? So you can concentrate on the important stuff.
Yes. Yeah,
Not that getting paid isn't important, but
I use Echo Billing Solutions. We just started with them about a month ago, and they've been amazing. And
That's awesome.
They're working really hard to get the credentialing finished as well. So we're little steps. We're getting there.
Nice. And I got to meet you. We were at a chamber meeting.
Yes.
Right. So we were down there. And thank you, because I know that we have our bachelorette auction coming up. And if you guys are listening and haven't bought your tickets yet, buy them. by such a wonderful family, so I appreciate it.
I have to remember to give you the gift card.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Because it takes a village, right? It takes a ton of people to go around and make things like this happen.
While you're saying that, too, we started talking a little bit earlier about the I See Children.
Yes.
I've had mothers burst into tears when I say, yes, I see kids under 12. That is not easy to find in our area. So I just want to put that out there that, yes, we see kids under 12.
That is awesome, because that's important. See, some of those questions I have no idea, what to ask when I would be looking for something, right?
Well, and when you look at insurance, it'll say children, but then they call and they say, well, I only see kids 12 and older.
Okay.
And so it's very frustrating for people sometimes to find.
Sure. Any other common questions like that people have, or they're listening right now and they're like, okay, well, I'm not sure, but does it fit in this category or anything?
I think some people will ask if they can use an HSA card for their co-pays or FSA, and yes, they can do that with us. Trying to think. Do we do telehealth? Yes, okay. We offer telehealth.
Do people like that?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. I've had,
I'd want to see you in person.
Yeah, most people do. But I had a couple college students that were like at U of I, sure. I've talked to people there, and that obviously has to be tele if they're going to see me. And sometimes people just live far away, I had a teen from like Barrington, and it's too much of a hike to bring him up once a week, Yeah.
No, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Any other, I know that, COVID made a big difference in everything, and just the way our world is. I'm sure that you see influxes of problems that people deal with, right? Like just living in this world right now with the things that especially put on teens to young adults that are going through and to navigate. Mm-hmm. I'm sure, I don't know if you see a certain age group that's more affected by what's going on in our world?
I think it's across the board, really.
Is it?
I really do.
Nice.
Yeah, I think especially transitions, right? Transitions are hard for all of us. Mm-hmm. But elementary to middle school to high school to college. Those are really difficult years. And I think one of the things I'd say, if anyone in high school is listening to, please remember it's temporary. I know it's hard. It was hard for me too. But a few years from now, you don't see those people anymore. Maybe a couple.
World, right?
Yeah. And you just move on and you meet new people and life changes. So if life is hard right now, just hang on. Yeah. It'll change, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of the people in my age bracket right now, a lot of us have, high school kids, mm-hmm. and a lot of people that listen to the show have high school kids. Mm-hmm. And, it's nice for parents to know, like, when is a sign when somebody should go see somebody, or mm-hmm. to, like, whether they're getting in trouble at school, and we talk about the ADD or ADHD, whatever those things. Any advice you can give to parents on, things they might see where they need to, seek out some help rather than them?
Well, I think it's important to understand that with boys, aggression and anger is actually can be a sign of depression. And it's not what you think of when you think of depression, right?
Right, opposite, really.
Yeah, sad and quiet, which also can be a sign of depression. But, yeah, boys, it can come out more aggressively. So that's important. If you're fighting all the time with your teen.
More than normal, mm-hmm. more than most people fight with their teenagers. Well, I guess we realize they do know everything. And we know nothing. I find that helps me.
Sure. Yeah.
But it is good, and I don't think for therapy and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think high school years, especially now, is good for people to see, right?
Yeah, I think it's good for kids to have a place where they can go and just kind of dump, and just talk about their stressors and their true feelings about, are they scared to go to college? Are they excited to go to college? Are they struggling at all, trying to figure out what they're going to do in the future? And a lot of times, kids have parents who are kind of, you're going to go to college, right? And the kids don't always want to go right away. They're not ready. And we do have so many wonderful programs here. College of Lake County and the University Center.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there's so much, and especially with this economy, knowing that those are very valid options, Yeah.
Yes, and we have a ton of resources close to home here, which is really great. Mm-hmm. And I've done a couple episodes with the guys over at the College from University Center to all mm-hmm. of the wonderful things they have. Mm-hmm. they have a lot to bring to the table.
Yeah.
We're fortunate to live in such of a cool spot, so close.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, go check it out. Go walk around and see if that's a valid option for you. They've done a lot of work inside of there too. So if you haven't been in there for a long time, definitely go see. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's much lighter and brighter and
right.
Yeah,
it definitely it's really cool. Yeah, it's nice to go around there.
Yeah.
All right, what else does Grayslake need to know about you? As we get ready to wrap up, I don't know if there's something I did not ask you to make sure that people know about you or your practice.
I would say I am not judgmental. I am definitely an ally, LGBTQ ally. I understand. I'm more open, if somebody is looking to maybe open their marriage, things like that. People are afraid. Things people are normally afraid. They're like, they'll think I'm weird or something like that. Come and see me because I won't think you're weird. I'll just listen.
Yeah, no, that's good. And it's nice to have somebody that's non-judgmental to come talk to. So, all right. Anything else you want to mention, Kristen?
I don't think so.
All right.
Thank you so
Oh my
much
gosh.
for having me.
Oh, it
today.
is my absolute pleasure. And I want to come over and see your place over there too, because I'm always
Absolutely.
hanging out.
Anytime.
Causing
We have a
trouble
nice
over
little
there.
coffee bar.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on my way right now. So I can calm down.
Exactly.
Grayslake, hey, do me a favor. First of all, thank you everybody for listening. Whether you guys are on Spotify, whether you're on Apple Music, whether you're on YouTube, wherever you're at, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so that way every Tuesday you get to meet somebody else from our community. And I truly think this is what builds community too, is knowing our neighbors, knowing our people around us, knowing our business people, and making more friends and expanding your network constantly. And as I always end, and kind of appropriate for what we're talking about today, is we never know what our family members or friends or even strangers on the street are going through. So be kind. Get out there, do 1, 2 different random acts of kindness, whether it's open the door for somebody, just helping somebody across the street, being nice to the person at the dollar store. Just be a good human, and kindness spreads like wildfire. So do that right after you buy tickets to the 3rd annual Bachelorette auction held on February 27th at First Draft. So thank you, community, for supporting that. We have a wonderful family to take care of, and a little goes a long way. I think that has to do with so many things in life, right? Absolutely. You get a bunch of people all doing a little, it can make a huge difference in somebody's life. So do that. Okay, I'm done getting off my soapbox now.
It's also a good way to fight depression. Do something nice for someone else.
See? Giving back, volunteerism, all those fun things, right?
Yep.
Wow. Awesome. Well, thank you again. Grayslake, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you next Tuesday, everybody.